Okay guys, some people are claiming that Metaphor ReFantazio has actually one of the best, if not the best, soundtrack of this 2024. In my opinion, I don't know if that's true. I think it would be really hard. Or maybe not, because we know that Atlas games are incredible, especially in the music department. So whatever, we have to see for ourselves if that's true. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that bullshit. Let's get into this. By the way, I have enabled 60 frames per second for this video, so we have this sexy kind of movement here. It's probably an overkill for a reaction video, but let's test it on this reaction. Let me know in the comments if you like this or not. If it's uncomfortable for your eyes or something, we can go back to 30 frames or 25. Well, I was given this list of songs by you, the community, by one unnamed hero. And we are gonna start with Warriors in Valour. Heroic vibes already. What the? Man, what the fuck is going on here? It's funny because as soon as those monk-like chants began, I started dancing and vibing. You cannot say monks don't have any rhythm. Holy! Already so many things to talk about, and so many things that we already discussed in the previous video with my guest composer friend, and it's the nature of the timbre of the horns. They just bring heroism to everything. With that intro, we could really appreciate them. It's like the introduction for a pretty important event, pretty serious event. And after that first section of the intro, we have a section that repeats certain formula that again we talked about in the previous video, and that's the dotted quarter notes rhythm patterns. These 3, 4, 1, pa, 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 pa. It's something that happens a lot in these JRPG games, also in Final Fantasy games, and we also had some strings building up some tension. Look, this is the end of the heroic part. And these strings, you know, building up a little bit of mystery, of uncertainty of what's gonna happen next, while the rhythm pattern is happening in the background. And over this insanity, this priest, this monk, whatever it is, begins an insane rapping. What language is this even? What? I wasn't expecting this from Atlas actually. Lovely unison of the brass and the choir, and that choir is so freaking spread, and that is very interesting because we cannot hear, or at least I didn't hear the usual intervals, thirds, fourths, maybe fourths and fifths, yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that everything sounds pretty wide because of that intervallic relationship, and thus it sounds bigger than it normally would, and it helps so much to keep developing this heroic aesthetic. I mean, this chorus, let's call it chorus, it's obviously it's the main section of the song, the hook of the song, although that's debatable. The hook may be the kind of rapping. Can we talk about that fucking rapping, man? Yeah, obviously it's not rap, It's not even a rhyme, but it's a very cool way for that vocalist to play. You know, actually play like it was a game with the rhythm and those crazy syllables, man. He's developing that with 8th and 16th notes. Well, mostly 8th because 16th notes all the time would be kind of insane, but I got some of them. It's a bit optimistic here. It has this full vibe of honor in the main section. Repeat the monk chants, please. Cool variation. Removing many instruments. Wow, make it sound more fresh. And it helps to lower the dynamics after the insanity of the chorus. It sounds like this choir is actually some weird force beyond the humankind, you know, beyond humanity. Like the forces of good are singing this actually. Okay. Okay. This is a little bit more stereotypical than the things we are used to hear from Atlus. In the other Atlus's games, well, I haven't played Shin Megami Tensei actually. Maybe the soundtrack is similar, I don't know, you tell me, but regarding Persona, that I have reacted a lot to Persona on this channel, it's quite different because Persona's background and context is much more modern and urban. I would say Persona's music sounds more urban than this. This sounds more like an epic tale, like a fantasy tale. Okay, warriors in arms, hit me. The singing remains. Oh. They didn't have to go. Wow, they didn't have to go this heavy, man. This hard. The singer is so frenzy, man. He's frenetic. A little bit of a heroic motif there. Wow. Until this point, everything has been more focused on the low frequencies. There is an emphasis in those frequencies here in the lower range instruments, and that makes it sound really heavy and quite dark. This one is darker and holy fuck, it's crazy. It's also crazy that this vocalist is like a wild animal, is stomping and destroying everything a little bit without control. I mean, he's on time, obviously, etc. Like, for example, an elephant running through a straight path. The path is straight and everything, but even if he follows a route, a direction, it's doing it chaotically. And I love that. It sounds like we are in a pretty much harder situation than previously. But this new section, man, it's a breath of fresh air. The dynamics went down and now up again. The choir there sounded a little bit more Armageddon-esque. I mean, it's not only the instruments, this guy's voice is low as fuck. Bro, it's crazy the way he's phrased it is so freaking weird, but I like that because it seems that he's using mostly eighth notes, you know, 3, 4, taga 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 da, but sometimes he's alternating really subtly with triplets at that speed, so it sounds crazy. Triplets would be 3, 4, diggity 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 diggity, but he does it in such a subtle way that it seems like an illusion. He's like da 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 da. Well, maybe not so many triplets in succession, but holy. That's so interesting because this really sounds like monk-like chants that we know that is a type of singing to induce someone into a meditation state, into a trance state. And even if he's singing these quick syllables, it still induces into a trance because of the repetition of the consistency of these vocals. Repetition and consistency, I would say, that are the clue factors here to induce us into an state, into the zone, to be able to play more focused, probably. Ah. The development of that motif from the chorus, they develop it into a more easygoing motif in this flute section, but I'm pretty amazed, pretty surprised. No wonder this is a serious contender for music award winning whatever in the game awards, man. Music, how is it? Music score and composition, something like that is the name of the category, right? Now we have You Face Louis Guiabern. We have some evil vibes already. But there's always something. Oh, there's always little fragments that remind us of the honor at stake in here. That's crazy. Like, we are not only fighting for the sake of, let's say, the world or the people we care about, but there's honor involved. There's respect and reputation in game. That's the impression I get. But it was so dope how straight after that honor part, we went again to a very evil sounding melody. Right there, right there. Feeling this. It's crazy that the choir and the brass have different melodies, but they converge at certain points. They meet each other, but not all the time. I mean, the brass is playing almost all the time, but the choir has more of longer notes, or at least melodies with more rests between the notes. But when there is a note, that note happens at the same time as the brass notes. those are really fancy rhythm unisons. I like that. I like that. It's a little bit static, harmonic-wise, but I'm gonna develop more into that a little later. Evil? The heroic, and immediately after, evil vibes. I like that the flutes are really present. They're not playing all the time, all the sections. Actually, no, but when they play, they are really present. That thing is just so emotional, man. That melody has something like you're facing an old friend, an old acquaintance, something like that. It's so insane how this is really static, harmonic-wise, as I already said. Because so far, this soundtrack is not excelling in very complex and really academic, weird, advanced musical elements, but it still achieves the actual main objective in music, that is making us feel things, emotions, sensations, making us draw imaginary landscapes on our heads. And I think that the static harmony that prevails in most of the songs helps so much to build whatever you're looking for: tension, emotion, heroism. As I already said, through repetition and consistency, they achieve this. Imagine something being like that in real life, telling you all the time, I want to do this, I want to do this, I don't know, I want to play Metaphor. I don't know, I want to play Metaphor, I want to play Metaphor, or says Metaphor is the best game of the year, is the best game of the year. And he repeats it so much that you start to actually believe in him. That's what's happening here. Face of the Palace. Best singer ever. We have a male choir, exclusively males, okay. The percussion is quite tribal also. I'm in a trance, man, for sure. It's crazy because he's singing triplets most of the time. But I feel like he's how do I say this in English, for God's sake? You could say dragging in relationship with the tempo, but it's not a mistake. It's just a way of feeling or playing a little bit before of the beat. He's doing that, and it sounds a little bit unstable, but I love this kind of shit actually. I think it's also because of the accents, because normally you would accent the first note of each triplets, right? 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, but he alternates between the first note and the second note of different triplets, like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. See, so that is a little bit confusing. That's really dope. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. I was a little bit neutral on some of those examples. Alternated between accenting the first and second triplets, but also with kind of neutral triplets with no accent. So yeah, that's wow. That's a pretty good musical resource, man. Oh. It's really tribal, man. Really ritualistic. I wonder if we do have tribes on this game actually. Because they have been really pushy with these tribal-like elements. It's like a praying, man, on an obscure ritual. Actually, there's not much of a difference between the two of them. Wow. Also, the way he vocalized helps everything to sound weirder according to our language logics. I was losing my language logics right there for a second. Bro, this game's music is so fucking weird that it should actually win Music of the Year or whatever. Because it is so unique. I mean, I have to admit that the first song regarding the instrumental aspect was a little bit stereotypical. I already said it. But after that, wow, has been quite unique. Has been a signature. I think it can be a signature for this game. King of Destruction. What a fucking intro, man! Okay. They dropped the dynamics, okay? This is much more organized. I thought it would be for a King of Destruction song. It's like pretty tidy. I don't know how to describe it. Contrast between the title of the song and the song is dope. I don't know. I thought this song was gonna be about something evil or someone evil, someone that brings chaos and destruction everywhere he goes. But it sounds like a really diplomatic person. See, a flute section, and the flute is the protagonist. With that lead melody. While the strings are having a role of accompanying it. Dope. Also the trombones, tubas, all that low frequencies, brass section, replying. Doing counterpoints, descendant counterpoints. I love that counterpunctual activity. It's usually in charge of the strings, but look at this. Holy! The sensation of time shifted completely. Call me crazy, but it sounds like the king of destruction is actually someone quite close to us, quite dear to us even. That sounded quite like something from Disney, from Hercules movie or something. Ba ba da da ba da. I don't know, man. Exactly. So emotional. Holy crap! These tempo changes, I don't think they are tempo changes, even just playing a halftime and something like that. But coming back and forth between the slow section and this, wow, it sounds so fucking cool, bro. Bro, they are just gonna repeat the same form we already listened to, right? That resolution to a major chord and right after the major chord, a very sinister chord is nuts. They build up the happiness and the good feelings by preparing the way to land into that major chord, but we got there and immediately was destroyed. Da da di da te do re, major chord, bam, chaos. Wow. Yeah, they are just repeating the form. So subtle that unison between flute and strings there. And we have a clave, another rhythmic pattern that's repeating with dotted quarter notes. Bam, 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 right? Bam, 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 bam. Like in the first song. Seems that's a thing for JRPGs soundtracks. Bring me back to the slow sensation section, please. We're gonna repeat this, at least repeat that section. It is a change of tempo. It does not fit any subdivision of the previous tempo. That was crazy, man. I don't care if I spoil myself. I already have the demo of this installed, but haven't had any time to play it. But I don't care if I spoil myself. Tell me who the heck is the king of destruction. At least a hint. Prelude to a heroic tale. It's heroic, see? Oh, this arrangement, man. The percussion is just going nuts, man. Oh! Holy fuck, man. I don't know what to say, man. If I would be the person that has but this is decided through a votation, right? Thanks God, because if these were in charge of judges, I wouldn't want to be in their shoes, man. Because we had pretty good soundtracks in other games, but this one is so unique, and they don't rely that much in the orchestral format as most of other RPG or games in general do. And even though we love that format and it's been a standard in the history of humanity, I always say it would be nice to not have the exact same format in all the game soundtracks. Maybe a reduction. Take a reduction. Take a little bit of some strings or brass or whatever, or don't use them all the time. Bring weirder, more uncommon instruments, and they are doing so. And they are playing outside the stereotypical things, man. I mean, this song, this far, is so chaotic, and I love that. I have always loved drummers or percussionists that are rebellious, that are, you know, a crazy animal that cannot be controlled. And the way they are playing with the rhythmic subdivisions here, not only them but the singer again, it's nuts. There is a common beat, yeah, but every little element here plays different subdivisions whenever they want. Obviously it's not whenever, but yeah, at different moments. So yeah, obviously we have the orchestral format here, but it's not that standard, that stereotypical for me. That much of a cliche it is. And now they slow down the pace. Wow. Prelude to a heroic tale. It's gonna be a beautiful journey. With a bit of tragedy, maybe, but you're not gonna want to change this journey for nothing in the world, man. I feel inspired, bro. Our soprano singers preparing everything for us. I thought we were gonna go to hell. I thought we fucked up. I thought that our fates in game were fucked up, but hopefully not. Oh, that was so fucking dope. I cannot go any lower, I'm sorry, but wow, just wow. I don't know, maybe this is my favorite so far. It's really interesting, and again, it doesn't excel at anything really fancy, but in being unique, in being different, in being creative with what you have. Last one of today's video. I'm pretty curious, man. Please do tell me, what was your favorite song of today's video? If I missed your favorite song, maybe, but we're ending this with Royal Capital Grand Track. It does sound royal. Like we're entering into a royal palace of some sort. Okay. It's difficult to predict because the first part, this one, is, you know, powerful. So I thought we were gonna keep rising the dynamics. But in the second part, they lowered them a little bit. Although in this second repetition, it was not that clear, but yeah. Wow, that violin tremolo is so fucking soft and subtle that you cannot actually tell. I'm not even sure if it's a tremolo. It seems that it is, but it's so subtle that it seems just one big note instead of many different ones. Wow. Many small ones. Sorry. Okay. But there is tension in there because of that very low note. Now we break a little bit of that tension, okay? But it's crazy. It's like you are in the presence of royalty. Royalty? Of royal persons. So behave. You must behave, man. This one is more easygoing in terms of rhythmic activity. Okay, and a fade out. Okay, this wasn't as fancy, but it was really interesting to hear. And remember the monk kind of vocalist? I don't know why, but this character, I can really picture him or it or whatever actually singing those lines. It looks like some kind of ape. I dig it. Well, thank you very much for watching and hanging around. You were right, guys. I was missing out on this one. And I'm sure I'm missing out on many more soundtracks that I should probably check before this year ends. Please, have a blast of a day. And if you didn't subscribe, nor like, nor comment, this ape is going to rape you.